Okay guys, come on in. Back with another video. Hey. So I was online and watching YouTube, you know, that's my only form of entertainment these days, I guess. Wow. Trying to gather my thoughts. So I was watching YouTube. One second, you guys. I need a sip of water. I was watching YouTube, and I've been watching in and out all day. And I have to turn it off because I get so pissed at some of the things that I'm seeing, right? And I've been hesitating to talk about this topic too, but I think it's time. I think the only way we can find solutions and to curb fears, if there are fears, you know, on certain topics, is to let's just get it in the air, come up with solutions, or I don't know. So, what are you talking about, MJ? I've been hearing a lot about digital ID, and it's coming to a city, state, country, whatever near you, right? Now I know that I have a regular ID, driver's license, but I do know that the last time I went to go get my driver's license renewed, they were saying that, you know, we're going to have to eventually, you know, get, what is it? They call a real ID. Now, I don't know if the real ID and the digital ID is the same thing. I'm not sure. They sound different because a real ID is still a picture. It's still a picture that you hold in your wallet like a regular driver's license, right? So now we're talking about maybe they scratched the real ID and now we're going straight to digital, right? We're going to stop all the crap and just go straight to digital. And it's concerning because a lot of people online are talking about, you know, oh, you're going to be tracked and you're going to lose privacy and you know, a bunch of bad things that could happen if we take the digital ID. Some people are saying it's the mark. It's the mark of the beast if you take the digital ID. And I have questions because it appears that we've already accepted digital footprint. It appears that we already have digital IDs on different, if you have Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever else is out there, right? Truth Social, what's another one? Rumble, PayPal, Cash App, Google Wallet, whatever, right? Credit card, debit card. You know, it seems like we already have a huge digital footprint, right? People have My Charts, you know, with your medical information all on there. And we're like, so it seems like we've given up a lot of privacy. Anytime you want to subscribe to an app, you have to accept their rules and regulations, and you know, nobody really reads all the fine print, right? I know I don't. So I imagine we've already given up a lot of our freedoms, rights, right to privacy and stuff like that. But I think, now correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section, I think that what we're seeing now is an effort, a collective effort to not have all these different databases, right? I think the digital ID is an effort to collect everything all in one place. And I have a problem with that. The problem I have with digital ID, well, I have more than one problem, but my main problem is, well, I have a bunch of main problems. One of my main problems is I don't want my medical history and my medical records on my ID. You know what I'm saying? If you work, would your employer be able to look into your medical charts? Like, there are a bunch of questions surrounding the digital ID, and I think it's creating a lot of fear. So I went to ChatGPT and I just asked, hey, let me tell you what I asked ChatGPT. I said, what is digital ID and can it be used against the people? Right? And so it gave me a whole bunch of stuff. If you guys want, you can go and type that into ChatGPT. I didn't sign up for ChatGPT and give away no more rights or anything like that. I just Googled ChatGPT. I clicked on the ChatGPT link from Google, and then it came up. It asked me to sign in, or I said just use it for free or something like that, the last one. So, and it let me type in the question, what is digital ID and can it be used against the people? Now, ChatGPT, I'm not going to read all of it, but ChatGPT says that digital ID is neutral. You know what I'm saying? It can be used for something as simple as email and password, or sophisticated cryptographic credentials stored in a mobile wallet. They said components often include identifiers like username, government ID, government ID number, phone number, email, public keys, cryptographic public keys. I don't know what that is. And then it says attributes like your name, your age, nationality, qualifications, entitlements. Is that right? I don't have on my glasses, guys. I think it says entitlements, i.e. welfare and eligibility. Right? And then it says authentication methods, passwords, biometrics, fingerprint, face, and one-time codes, or private keys, claims and credentials, digitally signed. Gosh, I gotta blow it. How do I blow it up? Okay, there it is. Okay, so digitally signed attestations from trust issuers, banks, governments, and universities. Right? It says storage, architecture, centralized databases, federal systems, many providers, or decentralized self-sovereign identifiers. Okay, user-held keys and credentials. So some of this stuff is going over my head because I'm not used to all the tech talk. But so what I'm getting is that it's basically all the rights that we've ever given up signing up for any social media site, any banking app, any when we open up bank accounts, when we go to the sign up for a cell phone service or buy a new cell phone. They put a whole bunch of stuff preloaded on your phone that you don't even know about. I usually go back in and go, nope, deny access, deny access, deny access right after I get my phone, after I got my phone, because they have a lot of stuff, you know, hidden apps, even on phones that you don't even know about, that most people don't even check. This, hey, my phone works, here it is, right? And your phone, when you go sign up for your phone, when they activate it for you, they automatically give access and permissions to a lot of stuff that maybe you don't want to give access and permissions to. So and then it goes on to say what are why digital IDs are used and the benefits of it, right? So it's for convenience, faster login, fewer paper documents, access to services, online banking. Pay attention, you guys. Online banking, benefits, health records, voting, travel. Let's see, security improvements, well-designed systems. Let me scroll up. Well-designed systems can produce passwords, password reuse, and phishing. Okay. Fraud prevention, strong verification can stop impersonation and fraud. Okay, it says efficiency for governments and businesses, automated checks and fewer manual processes. Okay, it says let's see, what else do we have here? So it says the second part to my question: how can digital ID be used against people? Real risks. Here we go. Digital ID technology is neutral. That's what it says. It's neutral. I can understand that. Its impact depends. Its impacts depends on who controls it and how it's governed. Here are ways it can be misused: surveillance, tracking, linking IDs across services can build detailed profiles and detailed profiles of movements, communications, and purchases. Health and social networks, authoritarian states or unscrupulous companies could monitor and suppress dissent of targeted groups. Okay, we know what that means. Authoritarian states or unscrupulous companies could monitor and suppress dissent or target groups. Okay, whatever groups they choose, right? If you're saying something they don't want you to say, whatever the company or authoritarian state or company, if you say something against a company and they don't want you to say it, you know what I'm saying? What happens after that? We don't know. That's why it's so terrifying, right? And then let's see. And all your information is locked up in the database. So it's like you gave permission for it, and I feel like you have to grant permission. It just can't be pushed on you. I mean, it can be, but ultimately you have to grant the permission. It's kind of like what I hear about that movie Sinners. I never saw it before. I plan on watching it, but I haven't seen it before. But from what I've heard about it, they say that the vampires were outside, something like that. Some bad vampires were outside, right? And I guess everybody was vampires. I don't know, but some people were outside, right? And they wanted to come in, and they were asking to come in, and they could only come in if the people inside the bar let them in. So basically giving up your free will. I guess that's kind of like that. Nobody's gonna force you to use it, but we'll dive a little bit deeper, okay? So it says, let's go. I'm just gonna read the bullet points. So it can be misused by surveillance and tracking, loss of privacy, function creep, discrimination and exclusion. We read that one. Identity theft and database breaches. We're having identity theft and database breaches now already, right? However, I assume, and I feel like with digital ID, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows, with digital ID it would be even worse. right? If the power goes out and everything's digital, how are we gonna, I can't go to the store and get milk. I can't, are they just gonna give, okay, if we're having if my city is having or my state is having a digital breach or breakdown or malfunction or whatever, right? When I go to the store, are they gonna just let me have it for free? Or, you know, if the power's out, or are they just gonna say you're out of luck? I mean, with cash, you know, if you swipe your debit card or your credit card and it goes, we can't read the chip, you can't use that digital ID, because that is, digital income, that is a form of digital payment, right? You can't use that. Well, then you could always pull out a 10 and hand the clerk a 10 and take your milk home or whatever, right? If we switch over to digital currency and digital ID, none of that's going to be possible. And is the infrastructure is it even strong enough to sustain the electrical grid, the electrical infrastructure? Is it even strong enough to sustain everybody with this digital ID? And in a power outage, will we still be able to eat? Will we still be able to get gas? Will we still be able to pay for our camera? Went out again. So I think I left off on what if it's down for extended period of times, right? How does that work, right? And then it says, okay, let's go on, because I don't want this video to be super long, but so I'll just go through it. I'll just speed through it. It says it can be used for one of the misuses. It can be used for is coercion, right? You could be people may be forced to share sensitive data or enroll against their will, right? Because you can't get certain services, you can't get food, you can't get gas, you can't get whatever unless you sign up, right? I don't think that's a good thing. It has to be something else. Can we come up with another solution besides digital ID? From what I understand, YouTube just had a crash, or what do they call it when somebody hacked? They just had a hack just yesterday, because our YouTube wasn't working. It was glitching and flickering, and everybody in the family was like, hey, is your YouTube acting up? What's going on? So they said they looked into it and YouTube had been hacked briefly or something like that. At any rate, and that's just what I heard. This is what I heard from family members. I didn't look into it. My YouTube started acting up, and I just clicked it off. I turned the TV off and went to do something else, you know. So then it says vendors can lock out commercial vendor lock-in and commercial exploitation. Dang. Okay, it says private companies controlling IDs can monetize personal data, discriminate on pricing, or deny access to non-customers. So it just seems like, yeah, it could make things convenient, but there are more downsides to digital ID. It seems like there are more downsides to digital ID than positives, right? I don't need to be convenient to have everything at the drop of a dime. I think we're becoming a nation of wimps, a nation of easy access, you know, have my groceries delivered. I can't just go be bothered with going to pick them up. You get what I'm saying? Like, I can go pick up my deliveries. I just feel like that. I feel like for those and I imagine it is convenient. I have family members who have used those. Somebody else go shop for your groceries and pick it up. Me, I'm a control freak. I want to pick out every piece of package of everything, right? You can't just pick up, because I think a lot of those people, not all, in case you do Instacart or whatever, a lot of those people just pick up the first one they see and pop it in your cart. They don't care if it has an expiration date. They don't care if the meat has a little bit of green on it. They don't care, you know, they just don't care. And they just put, you know, they got, especially if it's a busy day, they got a bunch of customers they have to shop for, put it in the cart and let's go, right? Yeah, I can go get my own groceries. I think that's a luxury that people could give up if it means that we're safer, right? And we're not giving up all of our freedoms. I'm not so sure that this is the right thing to do. And it's been weighing on me, and I debated about whether I should talk about it or not. And I've just got to put it out there, okay? So then it says how to reduce the risks, technological and policy safeguards. I just believe that you can't. They're talking about you can have laws passed and rules and regulations to make sure that nobody's using digital ID for nefarious purposes. However, laws and rules can change depending on who's making the laws and who you know, whatever agenda people may have, right? So it can be changed. Laws aren't set in stone, apparently. You can create a law and then you can change the law. Or you can overwrite the law through executive order or whatever, right? So I'm not sure that that's something that it's scary. It's very scary. And then we're talking, they say, let me go down to the bottom because, again, I don't want this video to be long. It says, the bottom line, let's get to the bottom line. You guys can go read all of this because I just don't have time for it. I just wanted to bring it to your attention that I'm not on board. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll get to that in a minute. It says, bottom line, digital ID can make life easier and more secure, but they can also be used to surveil, exclude, coerce, or exploit people if poorly designed or governed. The outcome depends on the technical choices, centralized versus decentralized, policy features, laws, transparency, and who controls the system. With the right safeguards, risk can be reduced substantially. Without them, digital ID becomes a powerful tool that can definitely be used against the people. Okay, so here's my summary. In closing of this video, I just wish that there was more talks on this digital ID, more deep dives on this digital ID and what it is, and are there going to be laws put in place that can never be changed, like they're set in stone? I don't believe that to be true. And it's a slippery slope. It's almost reminds me of a time in history where people were asked for their papers, and if they didn't have their papers, what happened to them, right? Yeah, a lot of stuff can come out of this digital ID, and people are saying, well, for the people that say, including myself, I'm one of those people that say, well, all of our stuff is online anyway, we don't have any privacy. But right now it can't be used to control us in a way that if everything went digital, our IDs and our digital currency, if there were no more, like, what do we do? And for all the people, you hear these crazy prepper people online talking about buy you some land, move far away, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta buy you some land, get out of the cities, right? And my question is all the time, what about the people who can't get out of the cities? What about regular people like me who aren't rich and we can't go out and buy acres and acres and acres upon land, acres upon acres of land and have that at the ready, right? And then they're talking about buy lot, get you some land, buy you some livestock, invest in gold and silver. Gold and silver. If we go digital, who's accepting gold and silver if everything is digital, right? And then they're talking about barter systems and stuff like that. People need to have skills and build your community. I say that too, build your community, but that's only going to get you so far, building your community. Yes, you'll have someone who could build you a shed or something like that, right? If you have a carpenter or a contractor or whatever in your midst, in your group, right? Where you going to get the supplies from? They're held in the jails called stores. Where are you going to get your supplies from if you can't go to Home Depot without your digital ID to get into the store, or your digital wallet to purchase the supplies? And I feel like everybody who's already accepted some form of a digital wallet, you're doing us all a disservice, because you wanting convenience is gonna entrap us and enslave us all. And not necessarily in the beginning, but people are inherently corrupt for the most part, right? How do we know whoever you guys elect to govern you, right? Because I don't participate. But how do we know whoever you guys elect in the future? And I'm not telling you not to participate. That's not my role here, right? I'm just asking questions. How are you guys gonna guarantee that the people that you elect in the future to govern you is gonna be not gonna lie? They're not gonna manipulate to get what they want. They're not gonna gaslight you to get what they want and then get in there and boom, gut punch you. Sorry, I know I'm a little loud, but at any rate, that's the end of this video. This digital currency scares the hell out of me. And it's going to lead to a lot of other stuff, like social credit scoring. That's going to be my next video, guys. Stay tuned for that. That's all for this video. I'm going to go ahead and fix me a sandwich, eat something real quick, and enjoy the rest of my night. That's my spiel on digital ID, digital currency. Let me know what you guys are thinking about in the comment section. I would really love to hear it. I don't have any solutions, but I don't like what I'm hearing from ChatGPT and other YouTubers who are talking about this, right? So I really wish that we can like put our heads together and figure out in the comment section, like what are some of the ways we could. Are there any other things we could tell, you guys could tell your lawmakers and your politicians that they might listen to, that we could do other than digital ID, right? And for all the farmers and the people buying all this land, well, they still have to buy animal feed. They have to buy wood unless they, go chop it down and, treat it themselves. Or some people can do that, but not a lot of people can, right? And will they even make it illegal to do that, right? I guess you can make up your own animal feed and sell it, but will that be illegal? Rules, regulations, and coercion. Anyway, till next time, family. Let me know what you think. Peace.